Join Doctors Savanah Craig and Ronnetta Sartor as we navigate life beyond graduation. Real conversations about forging our own paths in our early years in our careers. There's a reason it's called practicing dentistry. All right, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Graduation. This week is all about Dr. Ronnetta Sartor. So we'll get to learn a little bit about her journey and how we ended up on this podcast. All right, Ronnetta, tell us it all. Where are you from? Where are you now? All the things.
All the things. Okay, so I was originally, my childhood started in New Jersey, so in the cold, like Ohio. But we moved to South Carolina, a very, very, very rural and small town called Eutawville. You mentioned finding it on a map or trying to Google it. Same thing with Eutawville, very small.
I've been there, remember? One time randomly?
Yeah, you have been, yeah.
Surprisingly.
It's like you drive through it and then you're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have a stoplight. So very humble beginnings. I'm a first generation college student, doctor, all the things. I did really well in high school, then went on to college at USC Upstate in Spartanburg. And then I did dental school at MUSC and then went on to do my residency at Palmetto Health, which is now Prisma Health, Richland in Columbia, South Carolina. I always knew that I likely was going to practice in an area that was rural and similar to where I grew up. And so that's what prompted me to do the residency at Prisma, well, then Palmetto. More so because I was the kid that if we had to go to the emergency room or we had to go to the dentist, it was getting in the car and driving, some time to get there. So I knew what that was like, and I wanted to be able to provide as much as the care as I possibly could to any of the patients that I was seeing. I did a little bit of time in private practice, a group practice. And then about 2.5 years ago, I went out on my own and purchased a practice from a dentist that was retiring. And I've been learning a whole lot. It's so much to learn in dentistry, but overall, I'm grateful for all the mentors that I've accumulated along the journey and all of the friends and everything, because you can learn from everyone. So
when did you decide it was dentistry?
I didn't really know at first because, in high school, they're always like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You need to figure out what you're going to do because it's time to apply for colleges. And I remember we had to job shadow, and I job shadowed my dentist. I always enjoyed going to the dentist.
Yeah.
Which is weird for like some people.
I
think I should have known it when I was really young. I went to private school. And you could get like sent home from school for like anything. If you said your stomach hurt, you could go home. But like I would have loose teeth and I would like wiggle them out. So it was a low key young Dr. Sartor in the making.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did that as well.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like so cool. I wasn't scared. I was like ready. I'm like, okay, it's time to come out. Let's do it. So
parents, if you're listening and your kids are pulling their own teeth, it might be a sign.
Right. Send them our way. We have things to talk about.
Yeah. I would interview a little 6-year-old on this podcast about loose teeth. That'd be so fun.
It'll be the best. It'll be the best. I think it'll be the best. Just their perspective on what they think the dentist does.
Yeah.
I think would be pretty cool. I think it really wasn't until undergrad when I started volunteering at a free dental clinic where I met one of like my first mentors in dentistry that I really was like, okay, I can see a future in this. And he kind of took me under his wing and I did an internship at his offices and I got to see what it was like to practice in a rural area, but also in like a really affluent area too, because he had multiple practices.
Oh, that's interesting.
And, the rest is history from there.
So what would you say is your why?
That's a really good question. It's a really good question. I would say more so, like you said, leaving patients better off than when we let them, when they first came in. So if they come in and they're in pain, being able to help alleviate some of that pain if they come in and, like you said, they got a lot going on in life, whether it's just a listening ear or sometimes it's giving them words of encouragement. Like if they come in and they've got stuff going on in life, or if they come in and we found another cavity, but their oral hygiene has improved, celebrating the wins with them and everything. And I think that's what I love about general dentistry too, is that, you can literally grow, you grow older with patients and their families. And so, over the years, I've been out almost 8 years now. So some of my patients have had children.
Yeah.
And their children are now old enough to start coming to the dentist. So I think just the longevity in a relationship's probably the biggest thing that keeps me going.
Yeah, and you're building your own little community within your little practice. That's awesome. How does Ignite and this podcast and all of that fit into your why and your vision? Because obviously this is time out of our lives and away from our people, and I think we both really enjoy it. But what is that? How does this fill your bucket?
I think it's just what we just said, the relationships for sure, the community. And that's what Ignite is. I mean, we have so many team members that are all over the world, and we come together for the sole purpose of bettering dentistry and helping dentists, whether they are new dentists or dentists that are on their way out of the profession. The heart of it is, making dentists better, but also making ourselves better to end up in, where we see ourselves in our self-determined future.
Awesome. Where can the people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Dr._Sartor. And I know that's a weird last name, so it's Sartor.
You can see things about Ronnetta's practice and hear about the podcast, but also her gardening life. So check her out.
It's probably the most interesting thing on my page. Because books, I love books too. But yeah, my gardening wins, it's very near and dear to my heart.
We just have to figure out how to ship them up here to Ohio. People, if you know about shipping vegetables, let us know.
Yes.
All right, you want to close us out?
Sure will. So some words of wisdom and words that maybe words that I would have gave the younger 6-year-old Dr. Sartor wiggling her teeth out are to live in the present and be grateful and express gratitude and start with gratitude every day. Life is hard. Dentistry is hard. But as Dr. Savanah said it best, we're extremely blessed to be able to, care for our patients and care for ourselves and everyone that's in our circle and our bubble. And we're just so happy and grateful to have you guys along on a journey with us. And so with that being said, we will see you next time. But if anything in this podcast resonates with you, please let us know. We'd love to know what makes you you and anything that has resonated with you. Until next time, thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond Graduation. If you enjoyed this week's episode, be sure to share it with a friend. Connect with us on social media at Savanah Craig DDS and at Dr._Sartor. And remember, you are not alone on this journey.
Thank you for listening to Beyond Graduation, brought to you by Ignite DDS and Future Dentists. This episode was sponsored by Ignite DDS Coaching. We build self-determined futures. For more information, please reach out to the Ignite DDS team.